Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. It's time again for OJ. We're still in February. Um, the same woman who I think this one of the servers at the restaurant is still on the stand. Um, so yeah, let's go.
Mr. Shapiro?
Thank you very much.
Right here, where I have the red dot. Can you see that?
It always bumps us back a few,
Yes, that's Gorham.
but that's okay.
That's Gorham.
Mhm.
Okay. And then this street here is San Vicente.
Yes.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Mr. Shapiro?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mrs. Gavin.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
Very good, thank you.
Did you have an opportunity to talk with Ms. Clark and Investigator Van Adder about this case?
Yes, I did.
And was that on September the 15th of this year?
Yes, that sounds right.
And during that conversation, did you inform both Ms. Clark and Mr. Van Adder that you believed the time clock was off 1 hour because of daylight savings time?
There was confusion over whether we were talking about there's a time on the NCR computer that we do our checks with and whatnot. There was confusing whether we were discussing the time on that, which is always off, or whether it was the time clock.
Have you ever seen a report that was written by Mr. Van Adder regarding your interview with them?
No. No.
Did you tell Miss Clark and Mr. Van Adder that when you left, you did not know whether Ron Goldman had left or not?
No, I'd be surprised if I said that.
Did you say that you did not know if Ron Goldman was still there when you left?
No, I'd be surprised if I said that.
And let me show you a copy. Did you see Mr. Goldman sitting with somebody at the time you left the restaurant?
At the time I left, no. Earlier in the evening, he was sitting with John DeBello and Richard Abellino, the managers at the time.
So you did not tell Mr. Van Adder that you remember seeing Ron Goldman after he got off work sitting at one of the tables with John DeBello at approximately 9:30 p.m.
Yes, after Ron got off work, yes. I thought you said after I left. As I left, I saw him sitting there. I did not, but I saw him sitting there before he left, yes.
And then the report continues. She stated she did not see him leave the restaurant.
That's correct.
So you did not see Ron leave the
That's
restaurant?
correct.
And she stated the time clock was off, she believed, 1 hour because of daylight savings time and would supply her time card for June 12th. Did you say that?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Do you know if the Nicole Brown Simpson party was seated immediately when they came in the restaurant?
I think they probably were because they were late, and I don't remember anybody milling around by the bar.
Do you have any independent recollection of whether they were seated immediately or not?
No, I don't.
And would you agree that in serving 10 people that you were the only wait person doing that job?
Yes.
And does it take some time to get the orders from the kids and to get organized for that larger group?
Certainly.
Do you have any independent recollection as to what Nicole Brown Simpson had for dinner that night?
No.
Excuse me.
No.
Do you have any way of refreshing your memory as to what she had for dinner?
Only discussions that happened after the event.
Discussions with whom?
People in the restaurant, employees, fellow employees.
And did that refresh your memory as to what she had for dinner?
Yes.
And, well, what did they tell you?
Rigatoni. So
Do you recall whether there was an appetizer or any starter?
I don't. I recall there was one bottle of wine ordered. I think it was a bottle of Chianti. And that's the only specific food item I remember.
You anticipated my next question.
Oh.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Do you recall how long the dinner took for the 10 people?
I believe about an hour and a half.
So your estimate is by no earlier than 8:30 and possibly 9 o'clock, the dinner was completed and the party left.
Yes.
And it was your understanding they were going out for dessert.
Yes, they told me as much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Nothing further. Your Honor.
Ms. Clark?
Mr. Shapiro asked if you had read the statement and he offered to let you read it.
Raven, you don't have to feel bad.
No.
I'm going to let you read it now. I want to maybe first review it, and then I'm going to ask you a few questions about it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Shapiro asked you if you ever told Detective Van Adder that you did not know whether Ron Goldman was still there when you left. Do you recall that question?
Just now? Yes.
Do you see anywhere in that report that you said any such thing?
No.
Mr. Shapiro also asked you if you told Detective Van Adder that at the time you left the restaurant, you saw Mr. Goldman sitting with somebody at a table at the time you left. Do you see that in the report anywhere?
No, it says she remembers seeing Ron Goldman after he got off work, sitting at one of the tables.
But not that you saw that at the time you left.
No.
With respect to the time clock, do you recall resolving that question in your mind as to whether or not it was off due to daylight savings?
Oh, yes.
And what did you discover?
That it was not off, and that there was confusion over whether we were talking about the time on the NCR machine or the time on the time clock.
Are you talking, when you say the NCR? When you say the NCR machine, can you tell us what you mean by that?
I think that's what it's called. I think that's the company that makes the computer. It's the computer that you put all your orders into when you're making orders and prints the checks that you deliver to the table.
Kind of like the cash register,
Yes.
only
Except
fancier now.
Except it, yeah, it doesn't have cash in it.
And so that was the machine that was off in terms of time.
Yes.
So the receipts that are printed out for credit purchases or, I guess, cash purchases too, will show a time for the customer that is incorrect.
It could, yeah. I mean, it has been off quite a lot. I don't know who regulates that, but
So if a customer pays with a credit card, that machine is going to print out a time on it that is not reliable.
whether they pay by credit card or not, it's not, because it's not related to the credit card machine, which is a separate machine altogether. It's the check that you deliver to the table. So if they kept a receipt, if they paid by credit card, it might be the credit card receipt. If they kept their check, then that would have a time on it, and that would most likely not be right, but it could be.
On the other hand, the time clock that you punch in and out of, the employees punch in and out of, that was accurate.
Yes.
So the times that you just told us about when you punched in and out on your time card, those are correct?
Yes.
Recross?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, may we mark the witness's statement form as defendant's, I believe it's 1004? May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Does the last I'm sorry.
I do love giving the counsel right now.
Let me have Mrs. Robertson run back and make a photocopy so you don't lose your copy. Mrs. Robertson?
There's actually two statements.
Tell me the latter one, or a simple question. Continue without showing her the report. In reading the report, did I accurately read to you those statements that you read to yourself?
Well, I thought I heard you say when you left, did you see Ron Goldman?
Perhaps I misspoke myself then. Other than that, did I accurately read that?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
So there's no confusion. Do you have an independent knowledge as to when Ron Goldman left Mezzaluna on June the 12th?
But he left before I did, and that's as much as specific as I can be. That I am sure of. Exactly what time before me, I have no idea.
But you did see him leave the restaurant.
No, I didn't see him leave.
Well, how do you know he left before you?
Because I was in the restaurant for a good, there's at least, I have a memory of being around the restaurant doing my duties and whatnot for at least 20 minutes, speaking with people. It's not that big a restaurant, and I didn't see him unless he was hiding somewhere.
Are there any restrooms in the restaurant?
Yes?
I take it you didn't check to see if he was in the restroom?
No, I didn't.
What about the kitchen area? Are there any back employees areas?
There's a kitchen, a small kitchen.
Did you check there?
I wasn't checking for him. I wasn't.
So you are surmising, are you not?
Yeah.
That he had
over the
left.
course of the half hour that I was there and I didn't see him, that he wasn't there.
But you don't have any independent recollection of actually seeing him leave the restaurant?
No.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Ms. Clark? All right, Ms. Gavin, thank you very much for coming in. Please don't discuss your testimony with anybody else other than the lawyers in the case till the case has been concluded. Do you understand the order, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much for coming in. Ms. Clark, your next witness, please.
Yes, thank you, Ron. Can you call Stuart Tanner? I need to inform counsel of something before.
Certainly.
Let's go, Marcia.
Raise your right hand, please. You do solemnly swear that the testimony you may give in the cause now pleaded before this court should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, it is. Please have a seat in the witness stand and state and spell your first and last names for the record.
My name is Stuart Tanner, S-T-E-W-A-R-T.
Sure. With the report, please.
I object to him saying his name like that.
All right, thank you, counsel.
Sir, you are to disregard his last comment.
So, Ms. Clark, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Tanner, can you tell us how you were employed as of June the 12th, 1994?
I was a bartender,
And where were you a bartender?
Mezzaluna.
You know where the Mezzaluna is located?
Yes, I do.
And what's the location?
11750 San Vicente.
Can I ask you to try and keep your voice up?
I'm sorry. Oops.
Talking to it like a
Okay.
telephone.
Okay.
Let you use a pointer. Can you show us on this map that's been marked as People's 26? What's the location of the Mezzaluna?
Right here.
Where the yellow dot is?
Correct.
Thank you. For the record, the witness has pointed to the yellow dot on that exhibit, Your Honor.
Noted.
Thank you. And how long have you been working at the Mezzaluna as of June the 12th, 1994?
I started employment there as of November of 93.
As of June of 1994, what were your duties there?
I was hired as a waiter and then moved into the bartending position, so at that particular point in time, I was bartending and waiting tables. On that particular evening, I was working as a bartender.
Okay. And so when did you work as a bartender? What nights?
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday evenings.
And June the 12th was a Sunday?
Sunday evening.
So you're working as a bartender?
Correct.
At the time, at some point, did you become acquainted with someone by the name of Ron Goldman?
Yes, I did.
And how is it that you happened to meet him?
He was a co-worker at Mezzaluna.
We're going to show you a photograph that's been marked as People's 27?
Yes, 27.
People's 27, sir. Can you tell us if you recognize?
Yes, I do.
And who is that?
That is Ron Goldman.
And when was it that you met him, sir?
I believe he started his employment in about January of 94.
Now, were you also acquainted with someone by the name of Nicole Brown?
Yes.
And was she a regular customer at the Mezzaluna?
Yes, she was.
Showing you the photograph that's been marked as People's 28, sir, if you can, tell us if you recognize the person showing this photograph.
That is Nicole Brown.
Now, on the night of June the 12th, do you recall whether or not you saw Ron Goldman at the Mezzaluna restaurant?
Yes, I did.
And what was he doing there?
He was working
As a waiter?
as a waiter.
Did you also see Nicole Brown that night?
Yes, I saw her.
And did she come into the Mezzaluna alone?
No, she was with a party of about 10 people.
And do you recall what time she got there approximately?
6:30ish.
Did you recognize some of the people that were with her in that big party?
Yeah, she was with a few of her sisters were there, her mom, and I believe her children were with her as well.
Did you make some plans with Ron Goldman for later on that evening?
Yes, I did.
What were those plans?
We were going to get together after work and meet at a bar in Marina Del Rey.
Can you tell us, sir, in relationship to the Mezzaluna and 875 South Bundy and the restaurant you were going to meet him at that night, is 875 South Bundy, would that be on his way to that restaurant?
Yes.
And that restaurant was where?
It was in Marina Del Rey, near the end of Washington, going west.
So if he was going to go from, were you familiar with where he lived?
General vicinity, not the exact location.
Very close to Mezzaluna, was it?
Within walking distance.
If he were to go from his house to the restaurant where he was supposed to meet you, would he pass by 875 South Bundy?
He very well could, yes. That would be on the way.
And how did you plan to get together that night?
It wasn't a definite plan. Basically, Ron got off work before I did, and he was either going to call me later or I was going to call him.
So Ron got off work before you did?
Yes.
Did you happen to notice whether Nicole Brown left the restaurant?
Yes.
Did she leave before Ron did?
Yes, she did.
Do you recall approximately what time she left?
Somewhere in the vicinity of 8:30, give or take.
Now, how was Ron dressed when he was working in the restaurant?
The standard uniform is a black pants, a white shirt, a vest, and a tie.
And was he wearing it that night?
Yes, he was.
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Certainly.
A bag containing some clothing. I'd ask that the bag and its contents be marked as People's 29.
30, I believe.
30?
30? People's 30. Bag and contents.
Thank you, Ron. Showing you People's 30, sir. First, I'm going to remove a shirt. Appears to be a white dress shirt. And a pair of black dress slacks. Can you tell us if you recognize?
That would be our standard attire. Correct.
The waiter's uniform that you described?
Correct.
Minus the tie and the vest.
Correct.
Do these appear to be the clothing that Ron was wearing that night when he left the restaurant?
They appear to be.
Rather, when he was working at the restaurant?
Yeah.
Approximately what time was it when you last saw Ron in the restaurant?
I think he left somewhere in the neighborhood of before 10 o'clock, 10 minutes to 10, somewhere in that neighborhood. I didn't ever see him, pardon me, I didn't ever see him leave the building. Ron walked past me going towards the front door of the restaurant and saying that he would talk to me later. But I never saw him exit out that front door. I never saw him exit out the back door either.
So the last time you saw him, he was going towards the front door area, but you did not see him leave.
Right.
And that was at approximately what time?
Quarter to 10, roughly. Quarter to 10, 10 minutes to 10, somewhere in that.
Okay. And what was the last thing he said to you?
He said he'd talk to me later.
What time did you get home, sir?
11:30ish.
Did you hear from Ron?
No, I did not.
Did you ever hear from him again?
No, I did not.
Did you attempt to make contact with him?
The following morning, we were supposed to work together, and I paged him because he was never late for work. And so I paged him shortly after 10:30. On Mondays, we usually got together a little early for coffee, but he didn't show.
Look at your monitor, Mr. Tanner, and tell us whether you recognize what is depicted as item 101, photo number 101 in this photograph.
It's a beeper.
Shall we mark?
People's exhibit number on this?
We had a discovery number that we were using previously to identify the opening statement, but for now, perhaps we ought to just mark it as the People's 31.
All right, People's 31.
And I'm sorry, did you, does that appear, did you ever see the beeper that was owned by Ron Goldman?
It's just your standard black beeper that when you looked at the digital printout just gave you a...
Now, I have your box that is presently sealed. I'm going to ask that it be unsealed on the record.
All right, you want to describe for the record what you're doing, Ms. Clark?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, I think I need to.
Victorinox.
For the record, I am cutting through Scotch tape and the Los Angeles Police Department seal.
I love Donald. It's not easy.
A small envelope marked with the DR number pertaining to this case, item number 36, photo ID number 101. Removing from this package appears to be a beeper that now has print dust on it, counsel and I are familiar with. I'm going to show it to the witness if I may.
All right.
And this is 32?
Do you want to make that 31A so it corresponds to the photograph?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, 31A will be the, what appears to be a Motorola Bravo pager.
Actually, it's on...
Motorola, yes, thank you.
Bravo.
Yeah, that looks like his beeper.
And the same, the area screen for the digital printout, you see that?
Correct.
Can you describe the, you said there's an entrance on to San Vicente.
Yes.
Is there a public entrance also that leads out to Gorham?
There is, but it's not often used for, that's the entrance to our patio, for patio dining. And there is a short green wrought iron fence that encompasses the patio up to the building. And there's a gate that you can walk out of onto San Vicente. If you were to go onto Gorham, you would have to step over that fence.
And so would you, in order to exit onto Gorham, would you have to walk through the patio and step over that gate, that fence, I mean?
You would have to step over the fence, yes. You would have to walk out that door and step over that fence.
And otherwise, if you went out either the front door or you went out through the patio and through that gate, you go on to San Vicente.
Correct.
And that, are you familiar with approximately how far 875 South Bundy is from the Mezzaluna?
Yes, I am.
And how far is it?
2 blocks down Gorham, and Gorham runs into Bundy, and Bundy you would go left onto Bundy about a block.
About how long would it take you to walk from Mezzaluna to 875 South Bundy?
5 minutes.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Your Honor, my examination is quite prolific on this.
Please.
Perhaps Ms. Clark can help us. I'm going to read a document that mine has underlined on it. It's in the homicide book, page 368.
And Mr. Darden, could I get you to just move this easel back about 1.5 feet?
I need a copy of it.
Once you...
I just noticed that we're blocking 2 of our jurors here. There we go. Better. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kennedy.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shapiro.
How are you today?
Good.
Had you, on previous occasions, gone out with Ron Goldman after work?
Maybe one time. Maybe not, but not. It wasn't like we went out on a regular basis. We were just starting to the point of becoming good friends.
And had you discussed where you were going to go in Marina Del Rey?
Yes, we had.
Where were you going to go?
We were going to go to the Baja Cantina.
What is that?
It's a Mexican bar and restaurant.
And you were going to touch bases about 11:30.
There was no set time. Like I said, it was he was going to either give me a call at the restaurant, or I was going to call him. And basically, what happened was we got busy, and I ended up staying later than I thought. And I got home and I hadn't received a call, so I just decided, you know what, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed.
Would you find it a general habit of Ron that after he left work, if he was going to go out, that he was concerned about his physical appearance and that he would change his clothes?
Sustain.
Do you have any opinion as to whether or not Ron might take a shower after working all day and before going out to a bar in the evening?
Says he only went out with the guy once before. Just calling for speculation.
Thank you, Your Honor. You told us that you never actually saw Ron leave the Mezzaluna restaurant.
That is correct.
Do you know if he had anything to eat before he got off work?
I didn't see him eat after he was done with work. I don't know if he did or not. I mean, I was still working, so I was
It's a
busy.
small restaurant. Would you assume that if he sat down and ate with a manager that you would see it?
Objection, impossible speculation.
Overruled. You can answer the question.
Okay. He sat down with the manager after he was done with work. He didn't eat.
He did not eat.
He did not. He had a bottle of water in front of him.
Did you serve any wine to
Servers don't sit and eat. Servers take a bite while they're running around. If he ate while he was serving.
the Nicole Brown Simpson party?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't wait on the table. When a drink ticket comes up, I see the waiter's name. I don't look at the table number. If wine went to that table, I don't know.
Did you have an interview with two members of the Los Angeles Police Department, Investigator Carr and Investigator Tippin?
I don't remember the names, but I did. I was interviewed by two gentlemen on Monday, the Monday after the murders.
And did they write a report?
Yes, they did.
And in that report, have you seen that report?
I think we went over this the last time I was here.
So you have seen it?
Yes.
Okay. So you know what I'm referring to?
I know what you're referring to, yes.
And in that report, they indicated that you had a conversation about some glasses that had been left at the restaurant, and that their report indicates, quote, Ron volunteered to take the glasses to her house.
Correct.
Do you recall that being in the report?
I recall that being in the report, yes, I do.
And it's your recollection that you never said that to the officers?
Again, we got into this last time. I don't remember if I did or didn't say it to the officers, but I may have been told that day by Karen Crawford that he was taking those glasses, because I did speak to her before they got there.
Do you remember last time we talked about this, you said quite possibly I didn't say it?
Yes, I did say that.
Thank you, nothing further.
Any redirect? All right, Mr. Tanner, thank you very much. You're excused. Please don't discuss your testimony with anybody else other than the attorneys until the matter has been concluded. Thank you very much, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take our recess for the noon hour. I want you to listen very carefully to me, however, before I release you. If you recall, every time that I excuse you, I tell you not to discuss the case amongst yourselves, form any opinions about the case, don't allow anybody to talk to you about the case, or allow yourself to be engaged in any type of inappropriate conduct. When I say not to discuss the case, I mean everything that goes on here in the courtroom is not to enter into, is not to be a topic of your discussion. That means you're not to discuss how long the case is taking, you're not to discuss what goes on at sidebar, you're not to discuss the apparel of the attorneys, you're not to discuss the personalities of the courtroom personnel. Anything that is connected with this case, you may not discuss amongst yourselves. You understand that? So the order is very clear. All right, have a very pleasant lunch, and we'll see you back here at 1:30. All right, we'll be in recess. Thank you, counsel.
That was a weird one, wasn't it? Maybe they got caught talking about things.
In the Simpson matter, Mr. Simpson is again present with counsel, Mr. Shapiro, Mr. Cochran, Mr. Douglas, Mr. Bailey. People represented by Ms. Clark and Mr. Darden. Jury is not present. Counsel, anything we need to discuss before we invite the jurors to join us? What is that?
Can we approach the person?
Sure.
What? I don't know why we need to approach. I want to mark the envelope with the glasses.
I see, I just wanted to be able to have over there and take a look. So we'll approach him and come back on it.
Sure. We don't need the reporter.
Unfortunately.
All right.
We have taken out the glasses that were in the envelope that was depicted in some of the crime scene photographs that was given to Ron Goldman. By Karen Crawford on the night of June the 12th. In the photographs, you're unable to see the glasses, you're unable to see her handwriting that she placed on the envelope, which I would like to ask her to identify, and that will help her to identify the fact that this is the envelope, and that she put the glasses in and that she gave to Ron Goldman that night, and this is the envelope that is depicted in the crime scene photographs. So, as soon as we get a plastic bag in which to enclose this item, I'd like to be able to present it to the witness.
All right, Mr. Darden, is there somebody from your lab upstairs who is bringing us some type of sealable container?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right,
I'll be there shortly.
thank you. Ms. Clark, how do you propose we deal with the other problem with that? Any 352 objection to that?
This is evidence that was recovered from the crime scene, Your Honor, that was sampled by the criminalist. That is key evidence in terms of Ron Goldman's departure from the restaurant and the purpose for which he departed, and clearly the
No, I
probative value.
understand. I understand the relevance of the matter. I'm just concerned about the condition, since it appears to be blood-soaked and dirt-soaked.
It is indeed, Your Honor, but there is no way for the jury to see from the crime scene photographs the handwriting of the witness, or for the witness to be able to identify the envelope with certainty in the crime scene photographs, because the front of it is not shown in any of those photographs, nor is one able to see the glasses encased inside the envelope in these crime scene photographs. There's so much hidden by the crime scene photographs that there's no way the jury can get all of the information from it, or that the witness can adequately identify it.
All right, we ought to at least identify the bag and its contents as People's next in order, which I believe would be People's 32. All right, People's 32, well, I take it you're offering this. The small lunch bag, brown paper bag, contents which appears to be a white envelope, business size, and appears to be contents of containing a pair of eyeglasses. Mr. Cochran.
Yes, Your Honor. I wanted to just, for the record, indicate we have some concerns, some 352 concerns, as the court has expressed, where the probative value is outweighed by the prejudicial effect of the item. It seems to me, having discussed it at sidebar, what counsel wants to show, that if there are photographs, which I imagine there are, of this object, it'd be easy to deal with the photographs than the object. It's going to be very difficult to be handled at any point. Counsel has on gloves. We don't have gloves on. The jurors aren't going to have gloves at some point, and it presents a number of problems. But quite specifically stated, it's a 352 problem, where the prejudicial effect will be outweighed by the probative value. If there are initials or there's writing on there, we have no problem with stipulating to what the writing says. We have no problem with who may have handled this, and the fact there are glasses therein. But if it's an attempt to just inflame the passions of the jury, it would be inappropriate under 352, and that's our concern. And so we ask the court to do what is most reasonable under the circumstances. And if there are photographs, we'd like to see them and see if you can compare those photographs.
Well, counsel has seen all the photographs now for 7 months. He knows exactly.
That's not the
everybody
question.
knows.
I just want to see if there are photographs relating to this. I want to see them right now at this point. There's hundreds of photographs. I'm talking about photographs relating to that.
We'll be delighted to show counsel, but it will bear out what I've informed the court of, which is that it's a very limited view. And the jury's entitled to see how this witness can identify this particular, the crime scene envelope as the one that she put the glasses into, and she can't do that until she sees her handwriting.
How are you anticipating you presenting this to the witness, just showing it to her in a sealed bag? Hopefully we get one. You're not planning on using the Elmo or anything like that with it?
The Elmo with respect to crime scene photograph, yes, I will use that, but I'm going to encase this item in a sealed plastic envelope so that any health concerns or dangers that might, that the counsel has raised will be resolved with that. Additionally, I would like to inform counsel I'm going to mark as people's next in order with this next witness.
Elmo is the projector that they show the documents on.
I just it was just placed on council table today. The bill showing an itemization of what was ordered by Nicole and her party on the night of June the 12th, 1994.
All right, we'll mark that as People's 33. Restaurant bill.
Neither have I. It was just brought to me after the lunch hours. I walked into court a few minutes ago.
All right, would you hand that to Mrs. Robertson? She'll make 2 photocopies. Ms. Clark?
Apparently, the restaurant keeps a record. I didn't know this. I'm assuming, because I didn't ask for it. I didn't know such a thing existed, and I guess they're watching. Perhaps someone knows that council has been asking what everybody ate for dinner, and they're trying to help out. If council wants to know, now council has a record.
I wonder if those are witnesses that are going to be called that are watching the television violation of the court's order.
Well, all of the witnesses that are going to testify from the Mezzaluna have testified, or the one who has not yet testified is in court. So it couldn't be anyone in violation of the court order. They were all here. And if council wants the information, instead of just finding,
Do you have any absolutely clear bags? Without the, are they all with that? No, not what I had in mind. Get the original back. Is there writing on both sides of that?
well,
One
there
side is clear.
in the sense that there's criminalist writing on the other side that will probably. You want me to turn it around?
No, I'm just wondering how you're going to present it because of,
But what we need is actually a clear, completely clear bag.
because I'm reluctant to have witnesses handle that type of evidence.
How about, may I ask this, Your Honor, if for today, I have it sealed with the writing showing so that the witness can identify it, and that we transfer it into a completely clear bag for subsequent testimony? Because
All right.
this would be sealed this way.
All right. We'll do that. All right, Ms. Clark, are you telling us that the this bill from the Mezzaluna just sort of showed up this afternoon?
Yes, I had asked that the original time cards be forwarded to me so I could show them to council, because we had been using Xerox copies, and I wanted council to be able to ascertain that the copies were accurate, true copies of the originals. And along with that came the item that I just indicated, as well as this white receipt, credit card receipt that's signed Nicole Brown for the night of June 12th. I
that-
didn't know that these items had been preserved.
And do those items appear to be originals?
They do.
Plus, there's some writing on the...
There's some writing on this, the one that I have, on it says cash.
All right, council, why don't you take the opportunity to examine those items? And Mrs. Robertson now has a new supply of gloves if you need them. Any council.
There is a credit card receipt here from American Express for June the 12th that is signed by Nicole Brown. The amount of the total amount of the check was $179.95. That amount is shown on this receipt, in addition to a tip that was added for $34 with a total of $213.95. So this was paid by American Express, and I'm sure that if we have time to sit down with the next witness, we can have her explain.
Well, do council want to talk to the witness who brought these in before we call?
The problem is, Your Honor, this certainly materializes on their side of the table. We have a right to know about this. We want to talk to the witness. Find out where we are. Plus, remember, Your Honor, there's a problem with regard to the time card. There's a part that's been altered, and we want the documents the way they were in at that time. And so we have no editorializing. We want to address that. We'd like to talk to the witness if we can do that.
I don't know what counsel's talking about editorializing.
Well-
The time card for Ron Goldman is intact as it was when he signed in and out. The only difference is that the manager at the time signed off and wrote deceased.
All right. Putting that aside, since there's no dispute as to that, counsel, do you have any objection to taking a brief recess, allowing counsel to speak with the custodian of records who just brought these items in?
I don't know if there is a custodian of records present. On this form, the custodian of records is Lisa Jo Barnes. These items were given to us at 1 p.m. I first saw them at 1:30 when I walked into court, and I would be delighted to have counsel sit and talk to her. I would like to as well. So
Is she present?
she's not. She's at the office. She can be reached by phone? She can be reached by phone.
All right, let's take 10 minutes. Why don't you call her by phone, chat with her, and see if there's any question as to the authenticity or other foundation of these matters.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The record should reflect the copy that I have received indicates there were 9 guests. The date is June 13th, and the time is 7:04 a.m. I don't know if,
This is the problem that was referred to earlier by the witnesses, that the timestamp on these, thank you, on the NCR records is incorrect. It's exactly what we just had testimony about, if counsel were paying attention.
I thought they said that it was a change because of daylight savings time. Usually that's 1 hour.
No.
Well,
There was an
counsel,
indication that they were
wait,
concerned.
Let's not worry about, excuse me, let's not argue about that. We'll take a brief recess. Counsel can call this witness, examine the records. If there's some, I take it, Ms. Clark, you want to offer these records with the next witness?
I think I do, Your Honor, if I could have a chance to talk to her about it. I'm sure she could authenticate and lay the foundation for this, because she works there and is familiar with the workings of those machines.
Okay, so I take it you'd like a few moments to do that.
I sure would.
All right.
Appreciate that. Perhaps Mr. Shapiro could use this time to review the record, see what the witnesses testified to.
All right, 15.
Savage shots fired.
We've not had an opportunity to speak with the witness. There's a board of pictures of Nikita, however, that we're going to probably want to talk to the court before describing those pictures.
Which pictures are these?
We have pictures of the Akita. The pictures were turned over to counsel, and they're presently on a board.
All right, may I see the board, please?
Your Honor, highly prejudicial matter. Pictures of a dog.
And what is the
The last one is the collar.
collar? And what is the dog standing on there? It looks like a pad of some sort.
What is it sitting on?
Yes.
It's a... Yeah, a doggy bed.
No, I'm just curious as to what it, I can't see directly what it is from this.
It's,
this
it's... Yeah, it's a towel.
All right, when were these photographs taken?
I'm sorry? I can't hear.
Counsel,
What?
when were these photographs taken?
A week or two ago. And the council has the pictures. They were turned over to
We
them.
see it was within the last week.
Okay.
Council got them as soon as we did.
But there's no way we'll ever know that, that's for sure. And we may have, but we just saw them on this board today. You know, I just called it to your attention.
All right.
It's a recent, and it's just like everything else we've seen today. Because it's, you have a right to know about every single vote.
All right, well, there they
The
are.
report just got made, counsel. I mean,
All right.
it was just delivered to me this morning. It just got made. I'd show it to you as soon as I got it.
Here it is.
And the court indicated that it wanted us to do the show and tell prior to the jury seeing it. I have other boards that were made up that will not come up for quite some time that have also been shown to counsel. As soon
Okay.
as these things are made, I show them.
All right. I take it you've seen it, you have no objection?
I've seen it now. I've noted for the record, if we got the photographs from last week, I'll submit it.
All right. All right, anything else before we ask our jurors to join us?
Does Mr. Douglas want to talk to Ms. Crawford?
Any further? We will be offering these two items into evidence.
All right,
Maybe some foundational questions. We talked to her. We're not necessarily waiting on the foundation.
No.
I understand. Okay. All right, if we could we move our box here to not block the jury?
We'll remove everything.
All right.
Have we resolved the issue of the envelope?
Yes, I'll allow the witness to be shown the envelope and its contents. We can use the envelope for it. Its actual presentation to the jury in its present condition, though, I'll hold off on that ruling until later.
There's too much noise. I couldn't hear.
The actual presentation of the envelope and its contents to the jury I'll take up later to see if there are any photographs that accurately depict what's depicted there.
Thank you.
But for today's purpose, we can use the actual exhibit itself.
Thank you.
And I have one of the law clerks down at Save-On buying zipper lock bags right now. Ms. Clark.
Yes, I know.
So that should
Thank you, Your Honor.
be forthcoming.
I saw her on her way out.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
We sure? All right, let's have the jury, please. All right, let the record reflect we've now been rejoined by all the members of our jury panel. And Ms. Clark, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. People call Ms. Karen Crawford.
Raise your right hand, please. You do solemnly swear that the testimony you may give in the cause not to lead before this court should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Please have a seat in the witness stand and state this from your first and last name for the record.
Karen Crawford, Karen Crawford.
Ms. Clark.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Crawford, can you please tell us what you do for a living?
I work at Mezzaluna.
And what is that?
It's a restaurant in Brentwood.
Located at?
It's on San Vicente Boulevard.
Is it, can you tell us, is it at an intersection?
It's on the corner of Gorham and San Vicente.
Okay. Directly to your left is a great big chart that's been marked as People's 26. If you would, please point to the jury where the Mezzaluna is located on this. Use a pointer. It's right there, right on the corner. Indicated in that yellow dot. Is that yes?
Yes.
Thank you. How long have you been working there?
How long have I been working there? For a year and a half now.
Back on June the 12th, what was your position at the Mezzaluna restaurant?
I was the manager on Sunday nights and I bartended.
Now, on the date of June the 12th, 1994, that was a Sunday? Yes. And so what were your duties that night?
Well, I was managing that day, so I came in and I opened the restaurant. And through the course of the evening, I just oversaw the operations, and then I closed up. I did reports, things like that.
In the course of your employment at the Mezzaluna restaurant, did you meet Nicole Brown Simpson?
Yes.
She
It's
was
a
a regular
different
customer
lady.
there?
Gosh.
Directing your attention to the photograph that has been marked as People's 28. Can I ask you if you recognize her?
Yes.
Is that Nicole Brown?
Yes.
Were you also acquainted with someone by the name of Ron Goldman?
Yes.
Do you see his photograph there?
Yes.
People's 27? Yes. Thank you, Your Honor. And how did you become acquainted with him?
I knew him through work.
Do you recall when he began working at the Mezzaluna?
He started working at Mezzaluna about 4 months before June 12th.
Early in 1994?
Yes.
When Nicole Brown had come to the restaurant on previous occasions, did you speak to her?
Yes.
Briefly exchange, hi,
Yeah,
how are
just
you?
niceties.
Do you recall seeing her in the restaurant on the night of June the 12th, 1994?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall approximately when she arrived?
I believe she arrived between 6:30 and 7.
Was she alone?
No, she was with a large group.
And do you recall who was in that large group?
There were several adults and some children.
Now, do you know what Ron Goldman did at the restaurant? What was his job?
Ron was a waiter.
And he was working there that night on June the 12th?
Yes, he was.
Did he wait on Nicole's party?
No, he didn't.
Now,
It closed in 1997, Google says.
do you happen to recall where Nicole and her party...
I'm sorry, Ms. Crawford, could you pull the microphone a little closer to you there, please, and angle it over towards yourself? It'll twist there. Thank you. Ms. Clark.
Judge's water.
Do you recall where Nicole and her party were seated?
Yeah, they were seated across the front of the restaurant in front of the bar area.
Why there?
Well, we had to set up a table for their party. It was a large group, and that's normally where we set up a large table.
Okay. Do you happen to recall what she was wearing that night?
She had on a black halter dress.
Was it above the knee?
Yes.
And while we're preparing to show you an exhibit, let me ask you a few questions. Do you have a machine that the servers enter the orders into?
Yes.
And are you familiar with the way that machine operates?
Yes.
Have you yourself operated it?
Yes, I have.
And are you familiar with the paper that it prints out indicating what a customer has ordered and the total
Yes.
amount of the food served?
Yes.
Can you tell us whether the server's name is indicated on that piece of paper?
It is on the paper.
Now, there's a timestamp that is created by that machine, is that right?
Yes.
Is it accurate?
No, it's never been accurate.
Does anyone use it or rely on it to fix a time as to when any particular party was served?
No.
And were you shown such an item today when you came into court?
Yes.
I'm going to ask that this blue receipt, at the top of which is handwritten Nicole Brown Simpson, Mezzaluna, June 12, 1994, be marked as People's 33, and a white receipt with the apparent signature of Nicole Brown be marked as People's 34, maybe 33A would be better.
It's a separate document,
34.
34. I think it's a credit card.
Credit card receipt.
Right, so it's separate from the...
First, I'd like to show you, I'll tell you what, put it on the envelope.
All right, Ms. Crawford, you see the monitor that's right there?
Yes.
Make that open. Can you see it on the monitor?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is this the piece of paper we were just talking about that comes out of the machine that the server punches the order into?
Yes.
And does this...
Just a moment.
Oh. Does that help a little?
That's fine.
Can you tell by this document who was the server that night?
Yes, Tia was the server.
Okay. It indicates the number of guests as 9.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that? Is that an accurate, necessarily an accurate number of the people that were present in that party?
Not always. If there are a lot of children in the party, they may count 2 children as one guest.
And why is that?
Because they tend to eat less.
Now, you can see on that piece of paper that it says June 13th at 7:04 a.m.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
No, that's incorrect.
Is that always, that time and date stamp always incorrect?
As far as I know, as long as I've worked there, yes.
Can you move that up? Can you move it up a little bit? Now, does this show you what everybody ordered for dinner that night?
Yes, it does.
And it shows you the total amount that it came to, that it cost?
Yes.
$179.95?
Yes.
It also shows a phone number at the bottom of the receipt.
Yes.
See that?
Uh-huh.
You recognize that phone number?
I do, however, the area code's wrong.
It's now 310.
Right.
But that phone number, is that for the Mezzaluna restaurant?
Yes.
Could you pull it back down?
Printing right now.
Okay. There was a time on the top of that, I believe it was indicated 7:04 a.m.
Yes.
Okay. Can you turn it on? Okay, 7:04 a.m. Turn it over. Okay, we're showing you the other side of it now. At the top of this other side, it shows the time of 8:18 a.m. on June 13th.
Yes.
That's, of course, still incorrect.
That's still incorrect, yes.
But can you tell from this approximately when the check was opened and when it was closed in terms of how much time elapsed between the time the order was placed and the time that the check was paid?
Yeah, that would be a correct lapse of time.
So it's an hour and 14 minutes from the time that the order was placed to the time that the check was paid.
Yes.
And then that doesn't indicate that the party necessarily left, does it?
No, it doesn't.
They
It just
might-
indicates when the check was closed out by the server.
Now, in the top, as I face it, left-hand corner, you see cash.
Yes.
Does that mean that it was paid in cash?
No, it doesn't. It just means that the check was closed out.
We require a brief 30-second, Your Honor, in order to make the print.
That's okay. We can
Denied.
proceed with the testimony. At some point, did you see Nicole and her party leave?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember about what time that was?
I would say somewhere between 8:30 and 9.
Just backing up for a minute. You see what's on the monitor now?
Yes.
Okay, this is People's 34. Can you tell us what that is?
It's a credit card receipt.
That's exactly what a bot would say.
And is that, does that reflect payment of the amount that was indicated in that blue piece of paper that the NCR machine printed out for $179.95?
Yes.
And it's a gratuity was added on 34
Yes.
for a total of $213.95.
Yes.
Did you look at that piece of paper when you came into court today?
I did, yes.
Did it appear to you to be the original?
Yes, it was the original.
Move it up. Signature on the bottom appears to be Nicole Brown.
Yes.
Is it your habit and custom in the restaurant to have the customer write in the gratuity and then fill in the total
Yes.
and then sign?
Yes.
And it appears to have been done in this case as well.
Yes, it has.
Okay. Now, this shows a date of June 12th
Yeah.
and a time of 7 p.m.
Yeah. 7:12.
7:12 p.m.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
No, that's not accurate either.
So neither your credit card machine nor the NCR that you punch the orders into has correct times in it.
That's right.
Is the date correct on your credit card machine?
The date is correct, yes.
The time is wrong.
The time's wrong.
Then this receipt, this credit card receipt reflects payment for the order shown in the previous document marked Peoples 33.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, after Nicole and her party left, did you happen to see Ron Goldman?
Yes, I did.
Were you familiar with the method of time stamping for to punch in and out the time card for the employees?
Yes.
And do you know where that time clock is kept?
Yes, I do.
Did you see him go in that direction at some point?
I didn't actually see him go punch out.
Did you see him go towards where he would have to go to punch out at the time clock?
Yes.
And does everybody have to punch in and out when they come to work and leave?
Yes.
Now, as manager, are you familiar with the method of computing the time cards? And do you have something to do with maintaining the hours?
Yes.
And what is that?
I would sign people out, and on Sundays I would add up everyone's time card for the week.
And did you do that on June the 12th as well?
Yes, I did.
Shortly after you saw Ron go to the area where the time clock is kept that evening, shortly after that, did you get a phone call?
Yes, I did.
Remember what time approximately that you got that phone call?
It's about 9:30, 9:35.
Thank you, Mr. Escobar. This is another board member that can show to council. I asked if you want Peoples 39, 35?
35.
35. It's entitled Judith Brown Phone Records, June the 12th, 1994.
Your Honor, in the interest of saving time, since I don't think this witness is not going to give us phone records for the purpose of this witness's testimony, we would stipulate that the records are accurate and depict the time that the call came to the restaurant.
All right, is that stipulation agreeable to the people?
Yes, that's
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I told you during the course of our instructions that what the attorneys say during the course of the trial is not evidence. However, in a situation where the attorneys stipulate and agree to a certain fact, you were to accept that as evidence in the case. All right. Ms. Clark.
Thank you. Do you recognize the phone number on the first line there where it says June 12th, 9:37 p.m., West Los Angeles, And then there's a phone number, 310-447-8667.
Yes, I do.
And what phone number is that?
That's the phone number to Mezzaluna.
And the time that you received that call, the 9:37, does that seem to be accurate based on your memory?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, and just before you got that call, you saw Ron go back to where the time clock was kept.
Yes,
Did you recognize the voice of the person that you spoke to?
I did, yes.
And what was that, who was that voice?
It was Mrs. Brown,
Nicole's mother?
yes.
And did she ask you to do something?
She did.
And what was that?
She asked me to look for a pair of glasses she had lost at the restaurant.
Okay. And what did you do?
I looked around the restaurant, and when I didn't find them out there, I remembered I had seen them coming in from outside, so I looked outside.
Okay, now did you put her on hold or did you call her back?
I put her on hold.
And did you find the glasses?
Yes, I did.
Where did you find them?
I found them in the street by the gutter.
And what did you do with them?
I brought them back in, and I spoke to Mrs. Brown and told her I had found them. I put them in an envelope.
What kind of envelope did you put them in?
I put it in a white business-sized envelope.
Did you write anything on it?
Yes, I wrote Nicole Simpson, prescription
Good luck,
glasses.
Kelly.
Did you seal it?
Yes.
Did you ask her, did you ask Mrs. Brown what she wanted done with those glasses?
Yes, I did.
What'd she tell you?
She told me that she could not pick them up. She lived too far away, and that she would have her daughter pick them up.
And was it after that point that you sealed up the glasses?
Yes.
Did you agree to hold them there for her?
Yes, I told her I would have them behind the bar in our lost and found area.
And where did you put the glasses inside the envelope that you sealed up?
I put them behind the bar.
Your Honor, I have here a Ziploc bag in which there is an envelope. I can see glasses inside the envelope. I'd ask that this envelope and its contents be marked as People's 36.
People's 36.
We were stipulating that this witness would identify this envelope and its contents as the glasses that she recovered that night and the envelope.
I wonder if we could do this in sidebar, Your Honor.
Hold on a second.
Nice workaround.
Just so the record's clear, we did previously mark this in our discussions as People's 32.
Thank you, Your Honor, then.
All right.
People's 32. May we approach?
Yes, with the report.
Nice workaround. He does not want them to see the blood-soaked envelope, so he just stipulated to it. I don't know why. I know why, but she's still going to try to get that in. Nice visual for the jury. Guys, thank you for coming out to OJ today. I really, really, really appreciate it. I will see you all again tomorrow for more OJ. Hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.